Hey there, it's your friendly neighborhood agency coach, Tasha Booth, and we are talking all today about how to productize your offers so that you can get out of the day-to-day. Now, let's talk a little bit about what productizing, or as I actually like to call it, agencifying your offers is all about. So when you were a solopreneur, you were able to do everything kind of on the fly, right? You knew exactly all of the processes were in your head, and you could do them and execute them for your client. The goal in your agency is to get out of the day-to-day, to have others be able to support your clients in the same way that you would support them if you were the primary point of contact, if you were the person doing the doing work. Yes, yes. And so in order to have that happen, we have to have standard operating procedures and policies for how to make everything go smoothly in terms of delivering the service or delivering the product. That is what agencifying your offer is all about. Creating a standard, creating templatized processes, SOPs, standard operating procedures, all of those things so that every single one of your services is a repeatable process. This is also called productizing your offers, okay? So now that we got all of the vernacular down, let's talk a little bit more about the steps to make that happen. Step number one is to inventory your offers. So I first want you to look at all of the things that you offer in your agency right now, or even if you're not an agency yet and you're thinking about becoming one, this is a great time to do this, right? Inventory your offers. Chances are when you inventory those offers, you're going to see things on your offer list that you hardly ever sell. You're going to see things on your offer list that you don't enjoy delivering on. So those things are going to need to go. We're looking for the things that are the most sellable, the things that are the most repeatable, and the things that are the services that you get repeat clients for, that you get clients referring you for, and that you get the majority of your clients from, okay? Though that's the goal in terms of inventorying your offers. By the end of your inventory, you have scaled back to the things that are most templatizable, that are most productizable, and that make the majority of your current income. Step number two is to create a list. Now, when you see this inventory of all of your offers, it's probably still going to be a number of things. And you're probably thinking to yourself, how do I have the time to document every single one of every single part of every single process for every single service, right? I don't want you to get overwhelmed. This thing is going to take time. Now, when I first started my agency, it was probably a good year to year and a half before I fully felt like I could get out of the day-to-day. And what I mean by that is not just for a day, right? I mean, I was able to go on a 10-day vacation and I knew everything was going to still be swimming without me. I knew that my agency, my company was not going to have burned down while I was gone. The reason that I was able to do this is because of the process that I'm showing you now, but I also want you to be reminded that this took time. This took about a year to a year and a half-ish, right? And so think in terms of, let's take it down to its simplest forms. So this is all about number two, building your list. This is kind of your punch list for what you need to get done first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and so on. So I want you to look at that inventory of your services, and then I want you to make a list from, this is the service or the delivery process that we're going to tackle first, all the way down to the last one. Now, as you make that list, overwhelm's gonna come in. You're gonna remind yourself and re-remind yourself that it's going to take time, and taking time is okay. So then we're gonna go to that first thing on that list, that first service, and you're going to make a list off of that list of what is every single process that I can currently think of that goes into delivering for my client on that specific service. That's what we're gonna tackle first. Moving on to step number three, which is all about beginning the process of documentation, okay? So this is going to be a layered approach, but the first layer of this is having videos for every single part of the process. The way that you do this is quite easy. You're probably still in the day-to-day. You're probably still doing this process with clients, right? And so the next time you do this process for a client, or if it's an internal process like onboarding a client or offboarding a client, or scheduling a payment, you are going to open Loom, which is a video recording software, or you can use another video recording software of your choice, and you're going to screen record your screen as you create the process, as you do the process, right? This creates layer number 1, which is a video for the process. Layer number 2 would be creating the actual written SOP, standard operating procedure, for the process. But a lot of times we as visionaries think of that as too overwhelming. It was way too overwhelming for me to think about all of the things that I had to do to serve and support my clients, to serve and support my company, and then create all of these SOPs. That's going to lead me to something we're going to talk about in a few weeks, all about having an operations assistant. That person's going to be key to helping you document. But for now, just keep it at videos, right? You start having that video library so that when you have your operations assistant, they can swoop in and start creating the actual written SOP of each one of the processes. Finally, number 4 is to start creating templates. So a lot of the things that you are doing for your clients are things that you repeat client to client. It may change a little bit, right? You may have to tweak the template a little bit. But for example, at the Launch Guild, my agency, we always start with the same template for a project plan for a person's launch, because there are certain set dates, there are certain set processes that no matter what kind of launch they have, we know that this is the process. This is exactly how it works in our agency. And so we start with that template, and then one of our launch managers customizes that template for the actual client, right? So if the client is doing a webinar versus a challenge, we would customize that for them. We add all of the due dates, we add all of the people involved. All of those things are customizable, but we're never having to reinvent the wheel because the process has been created once, right? We worked hard once, we created the process, and now we're able to pull those templates in for servicing and supporting our clients. Now you can do this with project management, you can do this with emails, you can do this with maybe even like graphics and stuff like that, where you know exactly what the starting base of things are, and then your team is able to start with something and kind of see exactly how it should begin the process and how they should begin the process and what it should look like in the beginning, and go from there. Okay, so let's quickly review these 4 steps to productizing or agencifying your offers so that you can get out of the day-to-day once and for all. Step 1 is to inventory your offers. Get rid of the ones that you don't enjoy selling and don't enjoy providing a service for. Step 2 is to create your list. Which service do you want to get out of the weeds of first? Step 3 is to begin the process of documentation. Remember, video is great. Don't overwhelm yourself on this step. And step 4 is to create templates. That can include project plans, emails, outlines. Think in terms of whatever can be templatized. Quick reminder once again, this whole process is going to take time, but I guarantee you it is going to be worth it. Because this is the way that you start taking your brain and everything inside of your brain, putting it out into your agency so that your team can replicate your amazing processes that made you this successful so far. Okay, I will talk to you soon.